From the subreddit Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole? For asking my husband's friends to leave? I am 5 days postpartum, sleep deprived and in pain with stitches on my perineum. Today my husband's friends came over to see the baby. After 2 minutes of cooing over the newborn, they whipped out a case of beer and settled on the couch to hang out. I joined them out of courtesy, but by the time the two friends and my husband finished 7 beers between them, I could no longer sit due to the pain. I asked them to leave as I had to rest. They apologized and left hurriedly. My husband shouted at me and said I insulted them, and if I wanted to rest I could have gone to the other room while he continued entertaining them. I reminded him hanging out with friends should be the least priority right now. Am I the asshole? Here? Not the asshole. Delivery is a painful process during and it takes time to recover. His sole focus should be on tending to you, and otherwise tending to the baby to give you time to rest. I understand entertaining them briefly out of being polite. But also he could have sent them away with a polite excuse and to come back in couple of weeks after quickly meeting the baby. Congrats on the baby too. Not the asshole. Your husband yelling at you 5 days after a traumatic medical procedure is an issue. Not the asshole. You are being extremely gracious when you are in pain and probably going through a lot of emotions. Your husband is insensitive and very wrong to react the way he did. They had 7 beers? And your husband was mad he didn't get to have more? When he has a newborn and wife right there? Goddamn. There is an asshole in this situation. Most definitely there is, but isn't you? Seriously, that's pretty shocking. Not the asshole. Not at all. The peacemaker side of me wants to say that your husband needs time with friends to recover because being a new dad is tough, too. But holy crap. 5 days? The friends apologized and left hurriedly because you just pushed a kid out of your body, and they didn't want to feel like an imposition. Stupid ass husband needs to wake up. Not the asshole. Postpartum visits should never last more than an hour unless your guests are cooking you dinner, holding the baby while you sleep/shower, or cleaning your house. I hope your recovery is swift and congrats. Damn. Not the asshole. Your husband is, though. If my friend's wife had just given birth and asked me to leave so she could rest, I wouldn't be insulted or even inconvenienced. If my wife had just given birth I sure AF wouldn't shout at her for wanting some rest. Maybe he had too much to drink and said some things he didn't mean, but if he isn't groveling and apologetic after, you should probably never have sex with him again. Your husband needs a reality check. Giving birth isn't a short interlude that inconveniences his drinking. It's a life-changing event to which his beer swilling a whole friends are not invited. Shame on him for letting that happen. He should have told them to leave. You have major problems ahead. Not the asshole. You are recovering from a major life/medical event. You and the baby are the priority and focus. You politely asked them to head home after giving them lots of time to hang out before that, which was already super nice of you given how hard recovery can be. Don't feel bad at all, but do get some rest. Your husband used your newborn as a trophy. Hey guys, look what I made. Let's celebrate my accomplishment. Cracks beers. They weren't there for the baby. They were there to congratulate their buddy on good aim. I know I cringed when I typed it out. I will say, at least the friends seemed to leave quickly with no fuss. That's good at least. But still. Your husband should have said, all right guys, wife and kiddo need a break, we'll meet up another time, thanks for coming. Instead, he insisted his time to show off was more important than your recovery 5 days after childbirth. That's a huge red flag. Also, he went 7 beers deep. Did he consult with you prior to them coming over? He was going to need you to care for kiddo 100% while he got drunk? If not, that's also a huge red flag. I know it's only been some days, but it's not the hormones or you. It's your husband's lack of effort and empathy that have us all worried for your well-being. Good luck, my dear. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband needs to have his priorities straight. You just had a baby, one of the most painful things someone can go through. If you need to rest and don't want them being too loud, you have the right to ask them to leave. The fact that your husband yelled at you over that is horrible. Not the asshole. Who lets friends over with a barely week-old baby in the house? I didn't let anyone but family come over for at least a month, and that was pre-pandemic. I get if they want to meet the baby, but seriously, not even a week. I don't think I had a decent shower the first week. I know I already had said, but FFS, not the asshole. Not the asshole. If your husband's priority is his friends 5 days after you gave birth to his child, you need to consider whether he should be a priority of yours. Not the asshole. Your husband's friends are kind of clueless. Your husband is an asshole. Not the asshole. You and the baby should be his top priority, particularly helping you recover. He can hang out with his friends later when you're healed for reasonable amounts of time. Not the asshole. Does your husband always act this way? Greater than I am 5 days postpartum, full stop. Anything is icing on the asshole cake. Oh hell no, you are not the Your husband is. You can have a few visits, but to prolong it is unthinkable. Your husband and his friends are huge jerks. Not the asshole. If they were on their 7th beers, then they had been there quite a while. Yes, you could have gone to the bedroom to rest, but the reality is that it is your home too, and right now you need peace and quiet. Your husband was being a jerk. I hope this isn't how he always acts. Not the asshole. You hung out with them for 7 beers and only asked them to leave after you could no longer sit up due to the pain. That sounds extremely accommodating to me. Your rest and comfort is more important than your husband socializing with his friends right now, period. Your husband needs to get his priorities straight. Seriously? Not the asshole husband is TA. Unless he gets his priorities straight, he should be promoted to XH. Not the asshole. The fuck was your husband doing letting them hang around to have beers when he had a new baby and a wife who'd just given birth to take care of? Not the asshole, but your husband sure is. You would think he could have at least put beers with friends off for a few weeks so he could focus on you and his child's needs rather than his own. And even if you were being anyone with any small measure of empathy for you would have given you a pass. I wonder if the situation were reversed and he had stitches holding his bum closed after the trauma of passing a watermelon days before. He would be at his best if you had a room full of women kicking back margaritas while he was trying to recover and rest. I think not. Not the asshole, but your husband is. I know people want to wet the baby's head but need to be reasonable. I am not impressed by your husband's response either. Not the asshole. Your husband is a huge though. Duh. His friends understand completely, I'm sure. Not the asshole. Anyone coming to your house in the first 2 weeks should only be there to see the baby and drop off food. The closer to the wife the longer they can stay, but max 30 minutes except parents, but only if asked. Not the asshole. I'd throw hands. I had to go to all medical appointments alone, ultrasounds, doctor appointment, hospital visits due to losing a twin. I was extremely grateful for COVID restrictions at the time of giving birth, as a few of my husband's friends were talking about waiting outside in the hospital parking lot with a case. I didn't have to cross that bridge, thank God. You are most certainly not the asshole. Giving birth is hard. Having a newborn while in pain is hard. You got this, mama. I've got 4 kids, and my wife was in charge of visitors coming by until she was feeling 100% for all of them. I know everyone's relationship is different, but I couldn't imagine yelling at my wife for not wanting company so soon after delivery, or for any reason. Your husband's an ass, not you. Info: what the hell is wrong with your husband? Absolutely not the asshole. Not the asshole. They should have waited till asked over. Your husband is ta. And it's still COVID, so WTH. Not the asshole. Your dude needs to learn family comes first over drinking with his brothers. He seriously couldn't have made it past 5 days. Why not wait a few months before inviting his drinking buddies over? Not the asshole. Congratulations, and I hope you feel better soon. Not the asshole. Good lord. No. The correct amount of time for a postpartum visitor to stay is the time to finish one drink, and it shouldn't be beer if they're driving. The exception is for people who come to do your housework or hold your baby while you shower and nap. Your husband is being a complete trying to host a game night so soon after baby's birth. Yikes. Not the asshole. I would have kicked them out as soon as I saw the beers come out. Actually, I wouldn't have let them in after only 5 days. Or sat in the middle of them on the couch to breastfeed. If you are coming to visit a new baby, you better show up with something better than beer to make your time worth it to the new mom. Not the asshole. You're absolutely not the asshole. Your husband may be one, but not if this was an isolated incident. I could understand how the husband was happy to have beers with his friends to celebrate the baby. I can see why he forgot to check if his wife was still okay. But then, the shouting, the prioritizing of the friends, not okay at all. Is he as sleep deprived as you? Have you already had time to discuss the new situation? Is he often insensitive regarding your needs? I also think that maybe he would have reacted differently if you had mentioned your discomfort to him first. Not the asshole. 5 days postpartum, you are still in a fragile medical state. Baby 2. Your husband should not be drinking anyway, but also in case either of you need to be taken back to hospital, to see a doctor. When I and my brother were born, my dad refused to drink for at least a month each time just in case he needed to take any of us anywhere at a moment's notice. The fact that your husband spoke to you like that in this situation clearly shows his priorities. Beer and friends first, image and reputation second, wife and child somewhere below that. Don't let him get away with that.